Good morning. Today is the 23rd of July 2024 and I'm going to go through my pre-market levels for today. Before we start, as always, let's check to see what could be moving the market, which is not doing very well. Today, just a quick one, we've got Tesla and Google earnings tonight, and so bear that in mind. Nothing of high importance today. We do have some news at 10 AM, existing home sales, which could move the market, and that's probably about it. So let's just look at some levels. Let's go to let's start off with the daily. Okay, so we're looking at the daily right now. Let me just open up my pen. And you can see we've had this big increase of volume coming in over the last few days, and that's the volume as we're hitting the highs, all-time highs around that area, and could signify, we talked about it before, could signify ending volume. We had a lack of volume coming into that. We were making new all-time highs on really small volume as well, and then when we start seeing the volume come in, you know, that's probably some of the highest volumes we've had for most of the year right now. So potential ending volume, or at least a bit of a change of trend. Drawing the trend line in, we can see we've broken the trend line and we came back and we're just about to retest it now. So it looks like we could come into 56.40. This area here is a key area. If we hold that area, we could see a rejection, or if we break above it, we could see a break and retest long, making new all-time highs. And this pullback is just a pullback on the daily. And one thing to note, we've had this little bit of, let's just clear the chart, we've had these last two days of trading, and we had a relatively high volume candle for the red day and a little bit less, below average volume for the green day, similar size. There's a slight anomaly, but it is reduced volume as well, and usually you get reduced volume on pullbacks if it is going to be a pullback and there's no continuation, and we're not just seeing it do that, but instead we're seeing it come up. Probably want to see it come up into this area back down to continue this leg down. You know, we normally get three waves: wave 1, 2, 3, potentially 4, or a turnaround, and then maybe we're now looking at wave 1, 2, 3 before we turn around again. It's part of the market stages. Reviewing an area for potential bounce, we could watch this region here. We held it, you can see we held it along here quite a bit, almost got into it there. We broke through that pivot, we bounced a bit, broke through that region. That's some key area we've been watching, which we lost, and this is our next key area here. And basically what I'm looking at is lots of areas where the bottoms and tops of candles and the bodies of candles are all together, and that's areas of demand and support. And we've got another area of demand just down here as well at 52, 55.20. So these are the areas to watch for. We've also got the 50 moving average moving up into that area as well, and as of today, yesterday, we've kind of closed above the 20 moving average. So right now, pretty neutral in the direction. Let's go into the hourly. I did take a trade this morning, did quite well out of it, which I'll go into in a second, but let's just get some levels. One of the levels is the area I took the short. Let's open up my pen. Okay, so we've been watching this region for a few days, and we came into it yesterday, broke down, pulled back into it. So that's kind of our first area of, at the time, supply. We are looking at a bit of an inverse head and shoulders pattern as well, and so I do quite like this yesterday's high, today's pre-market high, as a break and retest of the neckline. So if we draw the neckline in, we can link them together, potentially is a bit like that. So I'm watching for a break and retest of 56 16, 56, 18 for the long. We can probably get rid of these trend lines now because that's from an old trade. And then potential target is this area of which used to be our demand area, and it's our point of control. We've got lots of volume, big volume shelf up here. So, and we've got the 200 moving average coming into that region as well. So 56.30 to 56.40 is our target, but also can act as our rejection area as well. So that's two trades up here. Looking for a bounce. The only place I can see a bounce is this region we've been looking at. We've held that. Let's just see whether we can readjust it. No, I still quite like that area. Pre-market lows come into it today already, so that's an area to watch for a bounce. We've got the 50 moving average starting to curve around as well. So let's watch pre-market low for potential bounce. But bear in mind, we could be putting in an M top at that point, and then we could be looking for the continuation down. And remember, even though we are in a daily uptrend, the hourly is in a bit of a downtrend right now, putting in a series of lower highs and lower lows. Although this area here, we've broken that low, which is kind of what made me neutral on the daily as well. Still got to look at the higher time frame. The higher time frame, we're in an uptrend, so I quite like the break and retest. That's my key area to watch today. That's if I trade, because I may not trade, and I'll go into that now. On the 2-minute chart, I was watching for the break of trend, and we had this massive move up, and you can clearly see the break of trend and my entry. I didn't want to rush into it, but as soon as I saw this big wide range bar, I waited for the pullback, and the pullback was here. In fact, I've got it. I think it's on my chart already. Here we go. Yeah, you can see it on here. So I'll just go through it. So you can see my entry. So we had the break of trend. I just went through this trend here, and then we pulled back, looking for a biggish move down and then a pullback, and I saw this flag setting up. It was not only a flag pattern, it was also a GBI as well. So my stop was there, my entry was there, and I took 3R on the first move there. I had a 5R target just above the VWAP, and it came down, almost touched it, came back out, and I stopped myself out at the 3R to guarantee 3R, and of course it went off and hit my target. Bit frustrating because my plan is not to interfere in my trade. Had I just left my break even in place and I just left my trade, I would have hit the 5R easily. But still, I'm working on that side of my trading to not manage my trades. But it was good out anyway. Even the 5R was a perfect target. Great risk to rewards as well, and that's what I was looking for. And the key area, what really did it was, even though we broke the trend and we pulled back a bit, it was this big, you could call it the control bar, that took out all of this region here, and then this flag pattern was setting up, and we pulled back into the 50 moving average on the 2-minute chart. Let me just flick to my trading for me today, unless something good really sets up. Okay, so back to the hourly again, back to the hourly. Just to recap my levels, we've got this inverse head and shoulders. Let's just draw the level in now. So we're watching for the, oh, I'll just change that to my, hourly major. So there we go. So we've got watching a break and retest over 56.15, basically this region here, 16 to 18. We can watch for a bounce down in this region. It's like the shoulders, you could call it, left shoulder region, the right shoulder region, kind of like this entire area for a bounce. Especially if we can come back down and hold the 50 moving average, and which is the 20 on the 5, and push up. If we lose this area, then this pattern's invalid. We're not looking at a head and inverse head and shoulders anymore. So we're looking for a break and retest, and we can watch for a break and retest of yesterday's low. And we continue in this downtrend we've been going through. And that's it really. Just two key areas. The key area is this area of rejection up here, or break and retest a pre-market high, and we're kind of in between. Or we can watch for the bounce in this region. Got a bit of volume down there, so potentially we could see a bounce in that area as well. Looking at SPY next. Same as ES, I quite like the rejection off of this trend line. I particularly like it because we've got the 200 moving average just sitting at there, and that's at 557 or 556.96. So in this region for the rejection, break and retest long, and if we are long, you want to see whether we can break through. We can probably trail it and see if we can get through that area. Again, we're looking at this inverse head and shoulders pattern. Neckline is there. So 55, 555.27, 555, 556, break and retest long. But like I said, the only thing that puts me off is the 200 moving average, which is there, and we've got in an area of supply as well. And you can see we broke down, came back up, and then rejected it last time. Bounces will be yesterday's low, same as ES, watching the shoulder, or we can watch the 548.50 for a bounce. SPX, have we gapped up slightly? Yes, no, we've not. We're about where we ended. So SPX is probably going to be opening in a similar area. Got the daily level above at 55.76, 55.77 area for rejection. So we can watch that area for a rejection, and if we're looking for a rejection on ES or SPY, then we want to make sure we're below that region and we're coming into this region here for the rejection. So we want, if we're going to reject 56.40, then we want SPX to be below this daily level. Other than that, the bounce at 5500, again, look at that, we talked about this several times. We held it perfectly, 5500. Hopefully somebody took that trade right off the 200 moving average as well. And we've got the 5600 region as well, happens to be where the 50 moving average is right now is. So these are the two main areas I'm watching. If we come back down here, watching for a bounce. And if we get up into this region, let's clear that. If we get up into this region, this is a big area of supply, a little tiny green candle and then a massive move down. Then 5600, watching that for a rejection. And we can also watch obviously break and retest of today's high, pre-market high, but be wary of this daily level above. NQ, yeah, I quite like the break and retest. Again, we've had this level in play for some time now. We held it there, we retested it yesterday, so this level was in play. If you look at the videos, go back a few days, you'll see these levels have been there, and we kind of perfectly, that's a great rejection off it there. Another great rejection if you trade post-market. Not quite there this time, but these are good levels. So I'm watching for the bounce down here again. Quite like it if we get back down into that zone. And then rejection wise, it's got to be up here again. 20,339, 20,300 for the reject. And then we can watch for the break. I do quite like the break and retest as well of I'm going to say yesterday's high, but this region here at 20,000. Obviously we've got the 20,000 number, big psychological number, so that's the key area. If we reject it, then we look for shorts. If we can get above it, we can look for the break and retest long, and that's the only thing I'm watching really. Next up is QQQ. Again, all putting in the same head and inverse head and shoulders pattern. Neckline is there. So break and retest of 482.80 to 483, this region here. We can watch for a target if we're long. Our target can be 486.28. We've got a little bit of area of supply above. Not a great deal, not much volume there, and the volume doesn't come in until we get up to here. So that's the region to watch for rejection. Big gap down as well, so potentially we may look for a gap fill. So that's the region 495 rejection to 496. The point of control comes right into that region as well, and we've got an area of confidence as well. So that's my main area to watch for the rejection, and then the bounce down at 474 to 475. Crude oil is down today. Couldn't quite hold our trend lines. You know, we broke through it up here and then came back, retested it, lost it, and again we didn't really hold it. We tried to hold it and now we've lost it again. So let's look for potential levels. Give me 2 seconds. That's my door, I'll be back in. So I've had a delivery, and usually just leave it on the doorstep. Decided to ring the doorbell instead. So crude oil, we lost our trend line. We've got this excellent rejection area which we rejected yesterday, pre-market. So most of the action in oil, all the big levels, always seem to happen in the post-market. So as I'm UK based, I might start watching these areas a bit more because I'm around in the mornings to see that. But that's a nice big rejection in that area. So we can watch that area again for rejection. We haven't got any bounces really until we get down into this region, 70. I haven't done any level selling for a while, so let's just have a look. So we've got 76.50, 76.86 for the bounce. We've got the point of control just above that area. Lots of volume in that area as well, so maybe we can watch this entire region. So this entire area is going to be our bounce area. Obviously if we regain, let's go back to that. If we can regain this trend line, then we can watch for a rejection up here, a couple of pivots. You see volume starting to come back in as well, and then watch out for the rejection as well. So yeah, we're quite far away. Well, we're not really. We've kind of, what's our ATR already? 75%. So we've still got a bit of movement down. So we can watch 77 for a bounce, or 77.88, 78 for a rejection. Gold next. Again, all those excellent gains it's given back. We've got this little bit of an inverse head and shoulders pattern, and we're breaking out and we're retesting. Let's just zoom in a bit more. The retest area is right on hourly levels as well, which I like it for a bounce. So I'm watching 2400 psychological number, round number for a bounce. That's my prime area, and I'm going to put an alert in just before we get there. 2401, that'll do. So that's the area I'm watching for a bounce. That'll be the break. So we've got the left shoulder, the head, the right shoulder. You've got a bit of a lopsided headline, neckline. So let's just draw it in. So we've got that shoulder there, the head, the right shoulder, and then we can draw that in, and that's our neckline there. We're kind of getting close to the bounce area, but I quite like the bounce at 2400 better for the move back up. And then we've got our natural target of the 200 moving average, and we've got an area confluence, hourly levels, and that's at 24.26. So we could better get, hopefully we might better get $26 point move out of this move. If we lose this level, then we can watch for a bounce down here, but then if we lose that level, looking left, yeah, quite like, yeah, this area is okay. It's a bit below 23.80, but 23.60 is another decent area as well, and that's where the volume is as well. Okay, RTY next. Oh wow, look at this. So we put the fibs in last week on this big move up, this move here, and look at that. Had you been paying attention, I missed it totally. It came right in, not only to the fibs level, but a level we've had in that area for some time now as well. Bit of confidence there, and if I zoom in, how close we get, look at that, smack bang on it yesterday's low, and that level was based on the high of that pivot going back to March. No, it wasn't. Yeah, exactly that. Yeah, the high of that pivot of March, that level there, right on the 50% as well. So hopefully someone took that amazing trade, and that would have been a great trade yesterday. I'm not even sure whether I'm sure I had alerts ready, but not only did we bounce off of that level, we bounced off the 50%, we bounced also off the 200 moving average, the 200 moving average as well, and we got a daily level as well. The thick yellow lines are our daily levels. So four brilliant reasons to take that trade. Okay, so I missed that one, so just moving on. Got this trend line, are we still there? Yeah, we're still kind of holding that trend line. We could be just looking at a flag pattern. Maybe we can watch for the breakout of this area, continue this big trend up. You know, we do need a bit of a pullback. Let's go look at the daily for a sec. Look at that, yeah, I quite like the bounce down here again as well, 21.85, and I also quite like the bounce down at 21.33. And if I were to, and that's just a rough area, but if I were to find a decent area a little bit above, about there, and what I'm looking for is not just a recent pivot, I'm looking for the most touches where we've got bodies of candles, tops and bottoms of candles, and pivots. And we've got volume just below that as well. So if we come back down into the 2140 to 2150 area, we can watch out for a bounce, and just happen to be the 618 around that area as well. So another reason, another confirmation. Okay, that's RTY. YM, which is a Dow Jones. We're right in this bounce area now, so right now it looks like a good bounce. If we can break over yesterday's highs, let's go into the hourly. Yeah, I like that a lot. So break and retest of pre-market high, yesterday's high, both in the same place almost. I'm going to put an alert in place as well. We want to see it break it. We want to see it come out, break that area, confirm the breakout, come back in, find an entry, and then long. We'll be above everything then, above the 200, above the 20, above the 50, and above pre-market high, and with very little volume above. Who knows where it could go. And we'll just sit there consolidating. Came back, we retested a major pivot from May. Let's see where we are. We're kind of right at this double top as well. So let's go into the daily. Yeah, we're right where we want to be on the daily as well. So we're kind of retesting this region here, bit of a retest of this region, no volume above as well. So if we can break above that area, 40,694, that's the level I've got. Basically 40,800. Yeah, that's the area to watch. 40,700 upwards for the long. And we've had this bit of a pullback. Look at this, reducing volume as well on big wide range bars. That's an anomaly already. You know, the wide range bars are bigger than the previous bars. Lots of volume there as well, average volume, and then slightly above average for these two. So let's keep an eye on this. This is probably going to be one of my favourite trades for today. I like the fact it's coming into previous pivots as well. If we can't get above it, then we can watch for the break and retest below that candle. And what we could be looking at is a little RBI, GBI I meant, and we can use that as our risk candle. But maybe on the hourly it might be a bit harder to find one. And again, you could even watch the bounce because we're holding this level. Area confidence, volume to the left as well. Point controls not to get down. So we can watch yesterday's low for a bit of a bounce. But I quite like the break and retest over pre-market high. And that's going with a trend as well. Finally, Bitcoin. We've got a few minutes to quickly look at order flow. I added to my position today. Just want to see if we hold this level. Again, it's not big ads, just small ads. Added down there, what's that, last week, and I just added up here, anticipating the breakout. If I go to the daily, here we go. So I just got rid of my lines and replaced them. So these are my original profit taking areas when I was watching the volume come in. So now got a bit more volume at the bottom, so I've added down here on this channel, and anticipating the breakout over this area for the long. I've added a couple of ads up there today and yesterday, and then looking at the weekly or the daily zoomed out, we're looking pretty bullish. We've got this big, what's it called, a cup and handle pattern with the flag. So what I'm anticipating is the breakout above that area to continue the trend up into all-time highs and beyond. Okay, that's it. I'm going to quickly look at ES for a second. Like I said, if you look at ES on the weekly, that little red week we had, it's just a little red week compared to, you know, we had a few down week in April. We're still holding major averages as well. So looking at order flow.